Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Today I'm going to be reacting to this piece of news that I've just received here. It says, ghosts, because they have those sort of milky white translucent eyes, it means that everything that they look at appears milky white and translucent as well. So if they're looking at a building or a car, it looks like a ghost building or a ghost car to them. So what the supernatural experts are suggesting is that when you actually have an encounter with a ghost, they might be more scared than you are. Actually, and this is the story I want to cover. Billboard have announced that Pantera's two surviving members, Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown, have made plans to go on tour together sometime in 2023. But the fans have reacted negatively to this news. I mean, not all of them, obviously, but some of them are saying, no Dime, no Vinny, well then there's no Pantera. Let's discuss it. Justin Hawkins rides again. Maybe that's why the ghosts are making that "woo, I'm scared" sound. So what is unclear thus far is whether or not the reported tour will be billed as a fully fledged Pantera reunion, or if it's going to be a tribute event of sorts. Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benanti will be filling in for the Abbott brothers. It's a pretty exciting band. I mean, regardless of the circumstances, it's I'd go and see that, I think. But I mean, I suppose what is the issue here? I suppose people are upset because you can't call it Pantera when half of the beating heart of the band is not there. Anyway, so far, fan reaction, as seen across social media, has been mixed to negative, with most fans stating how they can't be a Pantera without Dimebag Darrell or Vinnie Paul. Over on Twitter, the situation appears to be much the same. Pantera with Zakk 10 years ago would have been a beautiful tribute, but no Abbott brothers doesn't make much sense.
It's been almost 20 years since the breakup of legendary metal band Pantera, but now its surviving members are hitting the road for a long-awaited reunion tour in 2023. The band has signed with Artist Group International and is currently booking their North American dates. One of the band's agents, Peter Pappalardo, has commented saying, "We are thrilled to be working with such an iconic band and bringing their music back to the fans."
Well, it sounds like the agent would want it to be, you know, they'd want it to be Pantera, wouldn't they? It's much easier sell than a tribute to Pantera, featuring some people who are in Pantera. So I think if the agent had their way, I think that it's actually very unusual for an agent to make a public announcement like that. I don't think our agent's ever done that. I can't imagine him being trusted in front of a camera, to be honest.
The question now becomes, is this even an official Pantera reunion in the eyes of fans? This reunion will only consist of Pantera's vocalist, Phil Anselmo, and bassist, Rex Brown.
Yeah, okay. So if it's only the singer and the bassist, I mean, if they have a legal right to call themselves Pantera, why wouldn't they do that?
Their absolutely iconic drummer, Vinnie Paul, passed away in 2018.
That was sad. Vinnie Paul was a friend of the darkness as well. He used to turn up at shows, especially in Vegas, weirdly. Lovely boy, lovely boy.
And very recently, Phil Anselmo and his band have been playing as a vulgar display of Pantera.
A vulgar display of Pantera is a good name for a Pantera tribute. But is it a tribute? I don't know. I mean, for example, like if I did a tribute to the darkness with, say, Frankie Poulin. So me and Frankie are the... I don't want to think about that, actually. So I'm trying to imagine a scenario without getting bleak. Okay, so imagine a scenario where the darkness has retired. Nobody wants to do it anymore. And then suddenly, two members of the darkness, myself and Frankie Poulin, have decided to go and do it. Now, would we be within our rights to call it the darkness? But because you can't call it a tribute to the darkness when the people who are playing in the tribute were actually in the real band. So how does this work then? What is the problem here? It's Pantera, isn't it? It's the surviving members of Pantera. I know that two of the most iconic people in that type of metal are no longer with us, so they can't do it. But so I think what the fans that are saying this shouldn't happen, they're just saying Pantera should be allowed to rest in peace now. Actually, you know, there's something about that makes sense. Maybe they should call it something else. Maybe it should be called Pantera, the surviving members of Pantera, featuring, and then say Zakk Wylde and the other guy. Or maybe just don't do it. No, I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I can understand the conundrum because on one level, it's their right. It was their band. Why wouldn't you go out and just do that? But at the same time, there's something about the legacy, isn't there? The legacy of Pantera. This is one of those bands where that actually matters, I think. So maybe they should call it something else. I'm not suggesting they shouldn't do it, because I think that, you know, I always think about Queen in this instance. Like, why shouldn't Brian May and Roger Taylor go and play those songs, you know, as Queen, featuring Adam Lambert or, you know, Paul Rodgers or whoever it happens to be? Of course they should do that. Why would you begrudge somebody the opportunity to go and play their own songs as their own band? Under those really awful circumstances where the people that you'd like to be performing and see performing just are no longer with us.
There were previous rumors of Pantera potentially reuniting back in 2014 when Phil Anselmo would regularly join legendary guitarist Zakk Wylde on stage to perform Pantera's I'm Broken. However, any hopes of a reunion at that time were shattered by Vinnie Paul Abbott, who remained on non-speaking terms with Anselmo as he indirectly blamed him for his brother Dimebag Darrell's death.
Aha, now here's the issue. So Vinnie Paul harboured some resentment towards Anselmo because he considered him to be partially responsible for Dimebag Darrell's death. So I think this is actually a more, no, this is not as broad a question as I thought it was. This is actually about the dynamics of the band itself, you know, and it's a question of respect at this point, isn't it? I mean, if it's like a tribute to a band which was fractured and has suffered so much tragedy, and there's all the resentment and blame and the guilt, and maybe it's just something that should be left alone. Actually, maybe I agree with the fans. Shit. I thought I was going to watch this, and I thought I was going to record this episode and just say, oh, let them do it. It's Pantera. They should be able to play the thing. But actually, there's a bit more to it than that on this occasion, I think. They should definitely do it, but I think they should call it something else. Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to see Zakk Wylde playing Pantera songs. I think that's an awesome idea. But it should be called Pentara. You know, just jumble the letters up a little bit. Tanpera. I don't know. It's just something. There's something about this situation that's leaving a bad taste in the mouth, isn't there? I think all because of the relationship that Vinnie Paul had with Anselmo, with Phil Anselmo. I mean, or maybe personal growth has occurred. This is what I love. Like, a few years passed and you have all those traumatic experiences together and separately, and maybe the tribute should reflect that, really, you know. Maybe let's just call it something simple, like a tribute to Pantera, featuring Zakk Wylde. Oh no, it should be Pantera and, like the way Queen did it, Pantera and Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benante. That's what they should do. But there's no way they should not go and play those songs. Anyway, so here's some comments. Pantera does not exist without Dimebag and Vinnie Paul. Said Justin Smythe. DM said, nobody is going to this expecting to see Pantera. We all know it won't be the same, but we can't resist hearing those songs live. That's a good point. This is not sad, this is awesome. Half of the band have been lost too early, but Pantera never died. This is a great way to pay tribute to the Abbott brothers and to the fans. Negative metal elitists are the best. Toxic fucks. Gulturu says skeptical. The Abbott brothers were Pantera, but that said, it's still doable, and it would be a great opportunity for young metalheads to see one of the most iconic metal bands of all time. A rare opportunity indeed. And I think there's two ways to look at that. You know, there is the potential to sort of tarnish a legacy that really does need to involve the Abbott brothers. But then, at the same time, you'd be able to say you've been to see Pantera, but really you should be saying, I went to see Pantera, but recently. No, I don't know. How can you? I don't think you can really say that you're seeing Pantera, even if it's Zakk Wylde, who was brilliant, obviously. Some Pantera info. Anyway, they formed in 1981. Pantera is credited for being part of the second wave of thrash metal scene from the late 80s to the early to mid 90s. Pantera is regarded as one of the most successful and influential bands in heavy metal history, having sold around 20 million records worldwide and having received 4 Grammy nominations. In 2004, Dimebag Darrell was shot and killed on stage by a mentally unstable fan during a Damage Plan concert in Columbus, Ohio. Vinnie Paul went on to form Hell Yeah after his brother's death and died of heart failure in 2018. So it's just really sad. Vinnie Paul used to come to Darkness shows, actually. It was always a good laugh. So yeah, I don't know. Those two guys are obviously worthy of a tribute. There's some brilliant songs in the Pantera collection that need to be heard. And if they're being played by Zakk Wylde, they're going to sound amazing because he's awesome. It's just that it's got to be billed in a slightly different way. I think it's pretty cynical to call it Pantera, but it's something that needs to happen. So I think they should probably just call it Pantera, featuring Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benante. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Well, so I'll see you down the front, screaming away. Justin Hawkins rides again. I won't scream that just won't make any sense at all. Again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, watch one of these 2 videos, and keep coming back, guys. Lots of love to you. See you on the ice. Nice one.